Well, we're going to wobble here for a second, and then I'm going to apologize. I'm doing this from my phone. I have never done a video with my phone before, but I don't feel like hooking all my stuff back up to make a YouTube video that I haven't made in 100 years. So today we're going to try to explain the synergy matrix because a lot of people seem to be confused by it, and we'll see if we can do this really quick and in one take, so I also don't have to go and edit a video again. I prefer not to. Okay, so let's see if we can break it all down. You have your crystals. Yeah, it's my back scratcher. We're going to use this for pointing purposes. But yeah, here's all of your crystals. This is where your crystals will go. This over here is your battery. This over here is your core output, which it says very obviously right there. And then up here where this yellow line is, this is kind of a mini battery meter, if that's what you want to call it. It's once this fills up, you'll see that there's line. There's 100 lines right here. And once that fills up, it fills up one line over here. Your battery is broken down to 100 and it's in 25 slots. Well, slots of 25, that's better. And the first 25 are opened. And once you hit 25, you have to buy dust, which we'll get to. Or you have to get dust, and the dust will collect up until you have enough to open up the next 25, and then collect up to open the next 25. And dust is technically what fills this bar up too. So once you have enough dust to fill this bar up, it fills up one tiny little line over here. And once you hit the lock for the 25, you'll start building up enough dust to unlock the next 25, and you'll keep going on like that. And you get dust by doing your daily contracts. Or I should say contract, there's only one. Let's see, we'll go over here. This Synthetic Genesis Technologies contract down here at the bottom. This is what you do to earn the dust on a daily. This will give you, I want to say 500 per day, plus it'll give you a crystal. The crystals are what also gives you dust in the end, on top of the fact that they give you power. Now, the more power you have over here on your battery and the higher the crystals are, the more core output you're going to have. Now, a lot of this people probably have figured out on their own to some extent, even if they weren't 100% sure about some of it. The crystals, I find, these are what it really seems to confuse some people, is they don't understand how to get the crystals to do what they want them to do. Technically, if you have any on, so let's see, we'll click on the first one. And while I know it says socket crystal even though you're on it, so just hit the socket crystal and then you'll see unequip. So see, you can just go down the line, unequip them all so that it's not confusing anymore. So we'll click on the first one. There are 4 different type of crystals, and let's see if I have a full set that explains all of them. Yeah, right here. There's four cuts of crystals. Because let's see, the blue one here is rough, which is obviously that only gives you 10%. Then there's cut, which gives you 30%. There's polished at 60%, and then there's flawless at 100%. And obviously we want the flawless, not the nothing else below, if you could get away with it, of course. And so the higher the crystal, the more points you're going to get off of it. So if we socket the red crystal, we'll get 178 even towards the core output, even though it was only 100%, because, and I can't tell you what the factors are and what they do, but because the battery gives the crystal more power, which makes the core output go higher. And that's what we're trying to do, is like figure out what you want to do. Now, say if you want just the perks from this one crystal will give you 1 perk. I'm getting the fall off because of 1 crystal in. If I want more than the fall off, I have to socket another crystal from the same one. So see, we're back down here to the Rampage synergy, so I want the plus recharge, so I have to socket another. And if I want the next one, I just have to keep going down and just hitting every color for the Rampage synergy if I want to get the full synergy. So now you can see it when we view it. Now it's going to be highlighted on tier 2, but we have every one of these unlocked because I have socketed a crystal for every one. Now, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can put a different synergy crystal in. So we can go down here and you can either just override, which you're not deleting anything, you're just overriding, or I can unequip the last one. You can say that, and let's say, hey, I want a self-revive cooldown, so I want my purple one to be this. So over here on the bonus list, self-revive is now down here on chaperone. You can see it says this rampage, and it shows I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the rampage crystals on and 1 chaperone crystal. So that's kind of how the whole socketing crystals part works. And if you just want to try to put in your best crystals, flawless all the way down if you can, so that you can unlock more, that's better, because this is where the core output comes in. So required energy of 1. So if you put in 1 crystal, you're going to get what you can here. So it will unlock this, the 15%. And if I've the 1 savior like this, it'll go all the way down, so to say. I have to have one highlighted with it. Makes more sense. See how it's highlighted over here and not over here. So I would only get 12% fall off if I only had 1 in. I wouldn't get the rest, but I have 5 in, so I would get the first 5. But the thing is once you hit 400 energy, you unlock tier 2. At 750 energy, you'll unlock tier 3, and tier 4 is 1500 energy. So that's the main point. And you're going to need more battery over here if you're going to want to get to 750. Even I'm not at 750 yet, or at this point. So that's kind of what you do with this, is you want to mix and match, or that's what I do, is I mix and match what I want to make sure I get the perks over here that I want. And I also pay attention to the crystal values to see the best way to socket them as I go down, so that I will get the most core output, so that I move over tiers as I go along. Because I am really close. If you did notice, I was at like 729 or so. So I'm very close to tier 3, where instead of 18% fall off, I would move over to a 24% fall off. Now, this is flawless. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I remember all of what the different ones are. It's basically, I don't remember what all these are. I'm not the type to remember all that, and I'm not writing it down. I'm just trying to help show you how to get this right. But this is flawless. So if I do a daily, and it gives me a rough version of that red one for the Rampage Synergy, that will turn into dust for the battery. So that would level up the battery, since it gave me a duplicate crystal that wasn't as good as the one I'm using. And the higher it gives you, like if it gave me a duplicate flawless, I believe that's another 1,000 dust. So that would move me all the way over, bring me up 1 battery level, and then go up to 200 on the next level. So that's how duplicate crystals will work. And you can get those from the runners. Will have boxes where you can hit for the crystals. And if it gives you a crystal that's a duplicate or worse, it will give you the dust for it. So that's one bonus of that. And even if you hit the white box, there's one little white box that costs you 1, let's go over here, costs you 1 raw gulanite, which is right there. Costs you 1 of those to hit the white box and nothing else. And you have a chance to get crystal. I've gotten about 5 or 6 crystals from using that on the white box when there's nothing that at the end of Arc Falls and co-ops, the runner that pops up there, if he doesn't have something I want, I just hit that box. And sometimes I get a crystal, which either is a crystal I need, or it's a duplicate that gives me dust, which is a good thing. And you can see your dust right here, the chromatic dust. And then, if you didn't know, this gulanite fragments, you'll get this doing things too. When you build up to 10, it automatically converts to a raw gulanite. So this doesn't do anything for you, except for it builds to 10 and gives you another raw gulanite. So there's the bonus of that right there. And of course, the 155, if you weren't aware in this whole situation, basically that's why you want to do all your Arc Hunter bounties, because that's the stuff that you really want for using with the runners. Like every day, kill 10 enemies with grenades was yesterday's. Use semi-auto sniper rifles. And the Volge one I didn't do because, well, that just seemed like too much work. Do that to get that to hit the boxes for the runners that require that particular currency. The purified Gulanite, which I think they did it crazy. The purified raw Gulanite fragments, there's just too much Gulanite. They should have, I don't know, I'd like a different name for somewhere in there. So it's just too much Gulanite. I keep forgetting which one is which, but raw and purified are the ones you are always trying to get, but the raw just comes along as you do anything, because anything will give you fragments that'll build up into raw Gulanite. Purified Gulanite, you've got to make sure you're doing that contract daily to get that. Any contracts you see, which are all listed under the one I just showed, will give you purified Gulanite for the day. I think that about covers everything. I think that's the basic knowledge of how to do this. This is how it would work. There might be some intricacies you might want to, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you this gives you this gives you that, that, but that's how you work the synergy matrix, and that's kind of what I wanted everybody to see. And I hope this helps out the people, because I've seen a lot of confusion, and I get it. This was a really confusing thing. It didn't make a lot of sense, but for those who are just trying to get with it now and don't understand it and don't have anybody to ask, hopefully this helps you guys out. I'll catch you guys later.